Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are making delicious currant juice. I'm going to show you my method for making white currant juice, but I'm also making red currant juice today, so you're going to get to see it's basically the exact same recipe for both and just one of my favorite drinks for summer. So let's get started. I have here about 10 cups of white currants. You'll see that white currants have kind of like a pinky color to them, makes it really beautiful as a juice. We've got 4 cups of water, 3 cups of sugar, and a bit of lemon juice. Don't worry, at the end of this video, I will be putting the recipe on the screen for you. So we've been busy picking currants from our bushes in the backyard lately, and these are our red currants. The white currants are right beside them, and we had an abundance, so I couldn't wait to make juice. As we're getting started here, I'm just going to pour all of my clean washed currants into a big stock pot with just a little bit of our water, just enough so that it doesn't kind of stick to the bottom of the pot as the berries are boiling. So we're going to bring them to a boil, and you'll see here that as they boil, they're going to get fairly soft. I'm boiling them up quite a bit, and you're going to see that there's a big difference in the consistency as we go along. Once I've noticed that they're softening, I'm just taking a potato masher and giving them a good mash. Question of the day, do currants grow where you live? I'm just going to add the rest of my water here and keep it simmering. A lot of northern countries can grow currants really well. Our soil is perfect for it. I can't personally grow blueberries, things like that in my backyard, but I can grow currants, and I've recently found out that they are higher in antioxidants than a lot of berries, than almost any other berry, and higher than in vitamin C than something like an orange, for example. So I'm just washing up my jars here that I'm going to be putting the juice in. You can and preserve this juice like I'm going to do, so I'm going to show you that method, but absolutely you could make this juice and just keep it in your refrigerator for a few weeks, or freeze the juice as well if you're not into canning like I am. This is just kind of my preferred method, so I'm going to show you just so that you would know. And to do it, I have to wash my jars and just put a couple inches of water in them, and I'm going to pop them in the oven on a low heat, and that just kind of like warms up the jars so that when I put boiling liquid in them, they're not going to crack or break from a temperature difference. Anyway, I would love to know in the comments below if currants grow near you or not, and do you like the taste of them just straight off the bush? We eat them totally just straight off the bush. Here I am getting my lids ready. Some people find them too sour just eating them straight like that. That's why they like juice or jam, but it's definitely healthiest for you just to eat it straight off the bush. And this is kind of like second best, preserving for the winter months. Okay, so I'm doing about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, just so you know for reference for warming the jars. And you can see now that my berries are very soft. I'm gonna give them a little bit more of a mash. So this is without the extra water added. Now we're ready to strain. So I have a little setup here where this is just a pasta strainer, so you can use what you have at home. And I'm just going to strain the berry juice into a bowl. If you have a food mill at home that you use for tomato sauce or applesauce, you can definitely use that too. I just wanted to show it this way because I want everyone to know that no matter what tools you have at home, you can do this. So look at all that beautiful juice coming out already. It's kind of like a pale, pinky goldy color, just like a jewel tone. I absolutely love it. So I used 2 pots, and I'll show you why in a minute. So first of all, we've gotten all of the juice that came off immediately when we strained the berries, but there's still juice left in those berries. And I kind of like use the entire buffalo type of a person, so I'm going to mash them again to try to squeeze every little bit of juice I can out of them. I know a lot of people actually who use cheesecloth, and they will put the berries in them and let them drip and drain like overnight even, to get every last piece of juice out. But if you're in a hurry, you can do it this way. You can see I've got quite a bit left, and I'm going to run it through a fine mesh sieve. I love this little nifty tool I have in my drawer. I use it for making like gravies and meat sauces. I use it when I'm working with fruits to make jellies. I am going to be making a video coming up about our currant jelly recipe, which I love, and I need the sieve for that too. So it's a handy tool to have. And basically, I'm just going to take all of the liquid and run it through there, and you'll see that it's going to catch the seeds. This is what would, if you were using a food mill would also catch the seeds. But this is the way I like to do it. And you'll see in a moment just how many seeds we have left. Okay, so we've completely strained our juice. Look how gorgeous it is. Hooray! Now I'm going to add my 3 cups of sugar. You could definitely use honey or stevia if you don't want to use white cane sugar, or you could use less sugar than I'm doing. Absolutely you could. And I'm going to bring that to a boil, and once that's brought to a boil, I'm adding in some lemon juice as well. Well, let's turn that off. Here are those hot jars ready to be filled. One of my absolutely favorite gifts from my husband are these silicone gloves. I love these oven mitts because they are waterproof, they're silicone, and I don't need to fiddle with tongs or anything. I can literally grab my canning jars with my hands. It's so much easier and faster. And if you have a funnel, that is a nice, neat way to do this so that you're not accidentally getting juice dripping on the sides of your jar. I will say I know people who put these in plastic containers or even plastic milk jugs or milk bags if you don't have jars at home. We always want to wash the tops of the jars just so that nothing gets sticky. I did want to mention, you'll notice I only boiled that juice for maybe 2 minutes. We do not want to make jelly here, so you don't want to boil it too long. Just enough to dissolve the sugar. My lids have been heating, and now everything's going in the canner, and the processing time for this is just basically to get a good seal, which would be about 10 minutes. I know a lot of people who would do this and not even put it in the hot water bath. I actually have a video all about canning without a hot water bath. If you want to watch it, I'll link it below. And it really is something that it doesn't take long, just 10 minutes, and it ensures a good seal. But if you weren't using a hot water bath, you might notice that they seal just fine on their own, and you hear a pop within a few minutes of putting that liquid in and putting the lid on top. So just as reference here, each of these jars will hold at least 4 cups. So that gave me about 10 cups of juice from 10 cups of berries. Here's that recipe I promised, but keep watching because I have a little bit more advice for you with regards to this recipe. That is so delicious. There are a few things you can do. You can just drink the juice just like this, but we also like to maybe jazz it up a little bit. So for example, this past Christmas, we got out our jars, and for Christmas Eve, I did the red currant juice with just some bubbly ginger ale mixed in. It made a really delicious punch. You might even find that this is too strong, too much sugar, too concentrated. My husband mentioned you can definitely just add water. Add more water if you don't want it to be this strong of a delicious sweet taste. I like it just how it is, but you can definitely do that. You can reduce the sugar way down and it makes what's called a cordial, which can be used in mixed drinks. And like I said, it's kind of just like a concentrate. So you can just add water like you would for a juice concentrate you buy in those frozen cans in the store. So it's very versatile, delicious. And if you do not want to can it in mason jars, feel free to just pop it in a jar or a container and store it in your fridge. It will keep there for weeks and you can enjoy it all summer long. Cheers! Thanks for watching, everyone. I can't wait to see you in the next video, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe, click the bell notification, like this video. It helps to get these recipes out there, and I'm just so glad you spent some time with me today. For the least, this is Jen.